Commander Alex Daniels stood at the viewing port of the Interstellar Embassy, watching alien diplomats mingle. He ran a hand through his short brown hair and sighed. Another day, another round of mockery. "Look at the human," whispered a tall, blue-skinned Zentari to his companion. "Still wearing that primitive oxygen-based respiratory system. How quaint." Alex pretended not to hear, though his enhanced neural implants easily picked up the conversation. He was used to it by now. Humans were the newest members of the Galactic Coalition, and easily the least respected. "Commander Daniels," called a voice behind him. "The Proxima delegation requests your presence." Alex nodded to his assistant and straightened his United Terran Alliance uniform. Time to face more condescension with a smile. The Proxima representatives, insectoid beings with complex exoskeletons that shimmered with bioluminescent patterns, clicked their mandibles in what passed for amusement when Alex approached. "We were just discussing your species' latest announcement," said the lead diplomat, Ambassador Krill. "A seventh-dimensional drive, was it? Most amusing." "The Transcendence Project is very real, Ambassador," Alex replied evenly. "Initial tests have been promising." This triggered a wave of clicking laughter among the Proxima delegation. "Your species barely understands four-dimensional mathematics," Skrill said. "Even the youngest Proxima hatchling can conceptualize 5 dimensions. Yet you claim to have mastered 7. Alex bit back a sharp retort. This was why he hated diplomatic assignments. But as the military liaison for humanity's most ambitious project, he had no choice but to endure. His communication device buzzed. A message from Earth. Phase 3 complete. Authorization granted for demonstration. Finally. "Perhaps you'd be interested in seeing our progress firsthand," Alex suggested. "The Transcendence will be conducting its first public test next week at the Proxima Centauri outpost." The ambassador's compound eyes widened slightly. "You're inviting us to witness this experiment." "All major species are welcome," Alex confirmed. "Consider it humanity's coming-out party." Later, in his private quarters aboard the UTA transport ship, Alex contacted Mission Control back on Earth. "Dr. Wright, please tell me we're ready for this. I just invited the entire galactic community to watch us either make history or become an even bigger joke." The holographic display flickered, revealing a woman with intense eyes and a loud coat. Dr. Olivia Wright looked tired but determined. "The equations check out, Commander. We've successfully shifted test objects through all 7 dimensions and back. The Transcendence is ready." "And the military applications?" Alex asked quietly. "Beyond anything they can imagine," Olivia replied. "The ability to exist partially in multiple dimensional planes means we can strike from angles that don't exist in conventional space. We can phase through solid matter, appear in multiple locations simultaneously." Alex nodded slowly. "The galactic community has been laughing at us since we first achieved faster-than-light travel. They see us as children playing with technology we don't understand." "They won't be laughing much longer," Olivia said. "But remember, this is primarily a scientific achievement. The military capabilities are our insurance policy, not our purpose." "Tell that to the Krell Empire," Alex muttered. "Their expansion has already consumed 3 systems near our outer colonies." The transmission ended, and Alex stared out at the stars. Humanity had struggled since first contact, always playing catch-up to species with million-year head starts. The Transcendence Project was their leap forward, their proof that human innovation could overcome even the most significant technological gaps. In 1 week, the laughter would stop, one way or another. Dr. Olivia Wright faced the whiteboard filled with complex equations. The underground laboratory beneath the Rocky Mountains hummed with energy as machines processed calculations. She tucked a strand of blonde hair behind her ear and double-checked her work for the 100th time. "The math doesn't lie," she whispered to herself. 7 dimensions. We can do this." Behind her, Captain Eric Summers watched with quiet intensity. Unlike most military personnel assigned to the project, He understood enough of the theoretical physics to grasp the magnitude of what they were attempting. "You're sure about this?" he asked, stepping closer to examine the equations. Olivia nodded without looking up. "Conventional physics says it's impossible. That's why the other species dismiss us. They're trapped in their traditional thinking." She pointed to a particularly complex section of the board. "See this? It's not about brute forcing our way through dimensions. It's about understanding that all dimensions exist simultaneously and learning to slide between them." Eric studied the equation. "And this is what makes our approach different." "Exactly. The Zentari, the Proxima. They all treat dimensions like separate floors in a building. They build massive engines to punch through from one level to another." Olivia finally turned to face him. "We're treating dimensions like layers of a cake. They're all there, all the time. We just need to adjust which layer we're tasting." The captain smiled at the analogy. "And the transcendence is our fork." In a manner of speaking. A young technician approached with a tablet. "Dr. Wright, the final simulation is complete. 100% success rate across all test parameters." Olivia took the tablet, scrolling through the data with practiced speed. "It's time for a physical test. Prepare the prototype chamber." The next hour was tense. A small spherical device, a miniature version of what would eventually power the Transcendence, was placed inside a reinforced testing chamber. Technicians evacuated the testing area while Olivia and Eric watched from behind thick observation glass. "Beginning dimensional shift sequence," announced the lead technician. "Phase 1 initiation in 3, 2, 1. The sphere began to glow with a strange light that seemed to bend around it. Then, slowly, it began to shift. Parts of it appeared transparent, while other segments seemed to exist in multiple places at once. The effect was disorienting to watch. "Phase 2, called Olivia. The sphere now appeared to fold into itself, occupying space that shouldn't exist. Monitoring equipment showed it existing partially in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensions. Phase 3, full spectrum shift. For a moment, the sphere disappeared completely. Then it reappeared, but different. It seemed to pulse with internal light, existing in all 7 dimensions simultaneously." "We did it," breathed Eric. "It actually works." Olivia's face remained serious. "This is just a passive object. The Transcendence will need to transport living beings. When can we begin human trials?" "Soon, but first we need to scale up." She turned to him. "The Transcendence is nearly complete. We need a crew ready to test it." Eric straightened. "My team is prepared. We've been training in the simulator for months." "It's not the same," Olivia warned. "The physical sensation of existing across multiple dimensions. We can't simulate that." "We're soldiers, Doctor. Risk is part of the job." Olivia studied him carefully. "Why are you so eager for this assignment, Captain? Most people would be terrified." Eric's expression grew distant. 3 years ago, I watched a Krell battleship destroy a colony transport. Women, children minus 1,500 people gone in seconds. Our weapons couldn't even dent their shields." He looked directly at her. "If this technology works, it means humanity has a chance." Olivia nodded slowly. 2 more weeks of testing. Then we move to the final phase, a fully operational dimensional drive aboard the Transcendence. "And then?" Eric asked. "And then we show the galaxy they were wrong about humanity." The Proxima Centauri outpost buzzed with activity. Diplomatic vessels from 27 different species had arrived to witness the human demonstration. Most came out of curiosity, or to enjoy what they expected would be a spectacular failure. Commander Alex Daniels stood on the observation platform, watching the alien dignitaries gather. The Transcendence was docked at the far end of the station, its hull gleaming under the red light of Proxima Centauri. "Not much to look at, is it?" remarked a tall Veldoran ambassador, his silver skin reflecting the starlight. "We expected something more impressive." Alex maintained his diplomatic smile. "Form follows function, Ambassador. The Veldaren made a dismissive gesture with his long, six-fingered hand. My species abandoned physical engines for dimensional travel 5 millennia ago. Our ships are works of art that manipulate space-time through thought alone. An admirable achievement, Alex replied evenly. Indeed, which makes this demonstration all the more puzzling. What could apes who only discovered space travel a few centuries ago possibly teach us about dimensional physics? Before Alex could respond, Dr. Olivia Wright joined them on the platform. She traded her lab coat for a formal United Terran Alliance uniform, though she still looked more scientist than soldier. The Transcendence isn't about teaching anyone anything, Ambassador, she said. It's about humanity finding our own path. The Veldaren's silver lips curved into what might have been a smile, a charming sentiment. Though perhaps your resources would be better spent accepting the established technological pathways the rest of us have already mastered. Where's the fun in that? Olivia countered. A soft tone sounded, indicating the demonstration would begin soon. Alien diplomats moved toward the viewing gallery, many already exchanging amused glances. Captain Eric Summers' voice came through the station's communication system. Transcendence to command, we are ready to begin the demonstration. Alex stepped to the podium. Distinguished representatives of the Galactic Coalition, we welcome you to this historic occasion. Today, the United Terran Alliance will demonstrate our new dimensional drive technology. A ripple of what could only be described as alien snickering moved through the crowd. The Transcendence will perform a simple maneuver, Alex continued, ignoring the reaction. It will transit from its current position to the far side of Proxima Centauri, a journey of approximately 4.2 million kilometers, and return within 5 minutes. The Zentari ambassador raised a tentacle. Commander Daniels, even using primitive slip space technology, such a journey would take less than 30 seconds. What exactly is impressive about this demonstration? The method, not the destination, is what matters today, Alex replied. Transcendence, you are clear to proceed. On the main viewing screen, the vessel's engines began to glow. But instead of the familiar blue pulse of conventional drives, they emitted a strange, shifting light that seemed to bend around the ship. Beginning dimensional shift, came Eric's voice. Phase 1 initiated. The assembled diplomats leaned forward despite themselves. The Transcendence began to change. Parts of it seemed to fade from view, while others appeared to occupy multiple positions simultaneously. The effect was visually confusing, almost painful to watch. Phase 2, announced Eric. Now the ship appeared to fold into itself in ways that defied conventional geometry. Several alien diplomats made sounds of discomfort or surprise. Full spectrum shift, came Eric's calm voice. For a brief moment, the Transcendence vanished completely. The monitoring equipment showed nothing, as if the ship had simply ceased to exist. Then, instantly, it reappeared on the other side of the planet. Position confirmed, Eric reported. 4.2 million kilometers traversed. Returning to starting coordinates. Another shift, another moment of nothing, and the ship was back where it started. Demonstration complete, said Eric. Total elapsed time, 17 seconds. The viewing gallery was utterly silent. Then the Veldaren ambassador spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. That's impossible. They didn't move through the dimensions. They existed in all of them simultaneously. Olivia Wright smiled. Not so funny now, is it? The alarms on the Transcendence blared to life, just as Commander Alex Daniels was accepting grudging congratulations from the alien delegations. Commander, Lieutenant Kelly Peterson's voice came through his communication implant. Emergency transmission from Earth Command. Alex excused himself and stepped away from the diplomatic gathering. Put it through. Admiral Gregory Wilson's grim face appeared on Alex's private display. Daniels, we have a situation. The Krell have launched an attack on New Eden Colony. 3 dreadnoughts. Planetary defenses are failing. Alex's blood ran cold. New Eden was home to over 2 million colonists. Nearest response fleet. 6 hours out at maximum speed. By then, the Admiral didn't need to finish. Sir, the Transcendence is an experimental vessel that hasn't been cleared for combat. Wilson cut him off. I know what you're thinking, Daniels, and the answer is no. You're ordered to complete the diplomatic mission and return to Earth for further testing. Alex looked across the room where Dr. Wright was engaged in conversation with several alien scientists. Their demonstration had been perfect, but it was only a demonstration. The Transcendence hadn't been tested in combat conditions. Understood, Admiral, he said, his mind already made up. Daniels out. He crossed quickly to Olivia and spoke quietly in her ear. We need to leave. Now. Her eyes widened at his tone, but she nodded and made polite excuses to the aliens. 10 minutes later, the command crew of the Transcendence gathered on the bridge. The Krell are attacking New Eden, Alex explained. 2 million civilians are at risk. Captain Eric Summers frowned. Our orders. To return to Earth, Alex said flatly. The Transcendence isn't combat ready according to command. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. And what are your orders, Commander? Asked Dr. Wright. Alex looked at each crew member in turn. I'm disobeying direct orders and taking this ship to New Eden. Anyone who objects can disembark at the station. No repercussions. No one moved. Set course for New Eden, Eric said to the navigation officer. Prepare for dimensional shift. The journey that would have taken other ships hours passed in a blur of shifting realities. The Transcendence phased through the 7 dimensions, bypassing normal space-time constraints. When they emerged at New Eden, the situation was dire. The 3 massive Krell dreadnoughts were systematically destroying the colony's infrastructure. The orbital defense platforms were already gone. Life signs on the surface. Alex demanded. Still reading approximately 1.9 million colonists, reported Lieutenant Samantha Clark from the sensor station. The Krell are targeting infrastructure first, not population centers. They want the planet intact, Eric said grimly. They're planning to move in after they've broken resistance. We're being scanned, Lieutenant Peterson announced. The Krell have detected us. One of the massive dreadnoughts began to turn toward them. The vessel was enormous, nearly 10 kilometers long, bristling with weapons. They're hailing us, Peterson said, sounding surprised. On screen, Alex ordered. The reptilian face of a Krell commander filled the view screen. Its scales were dark purple with age, marking it as a high-ranking officer. Human vessel. The Krell hissed in accented standard. You have arrived just in time to witness the fall of your colony. A single ship against 3 dreadnoughts. Your bravery is as amusing as it is futile. Alex smiled thinly. We're not here to amuse you. The Krell commander laughed, a dry, rattling sound. What is this? The vessel that caused such excitement at Proxima Centauri. Your dimensional tricks may impress those peace-loving fools, but they mean nothing against Krell firepower. We'll see about that, Alex said. Transcendence out. He cut the transmission and turned to his crew. Battle stations. Dr. Wright, is the dimensional drive ready for combat operations? Olivia's fingers flew across her console. Untested, but the simulations suggest we can maintain 7th dimensional phasing while engaging weapons systems. Good enough for me, Alex said. Captain Summers, you have tactical command. Let's show the Krell what this ship can really do. The nearest dreadnought fired its first salvo, a storm of energy weapons that would have vaporized any conventional vessel. Activating dimensional shift, Olivia announced. Now, Lieutenant Samantha Clark's fingers moved with practiced precision across her control interface. Dimensional shift activating in 3, 2, 1. The Transcendence hummed as its revolutionary drive engaged. The feeling was impossible to describe, like existing everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. Through the view screen, the crew watched as brilliant energy beams from the Krell dreadnought passed harmlessly through their vessel. Shift complete, Samantha announced. We're partially phased into the seventh dimension. Commander Alex Daniels felt a strange sensation, as if his body was both solid and intangible at the same time. Status report. The Krell weapons are passing through us, reported Captain Eric Summers from Tactical. Exactly as the simulations predicted. To them, we're basically a ghost ship. Dr. Olivia Wright monitored the dimensional drive readings with intense focus. The phase is stable, but we can only maintain this state for 20 minutes before the power cells need to recharge. Then we make those minutes count, Alex said. Captain Summers, target the nearest dreadnought's primary weapon systems. On the main view screen, the massive Krell vessel continued firing, its crew clearly confused as their weapons had no effect. Fascinating, Olivia murmured. From our perspective in this dimensional state, we can see vulnerabilities in their ship design that would be invisible in normal space. Show me, Eric said. Olivia transferred the data to the tactical station. See those nexus points? In the seventh dimension, energy flows are visible. Their shield generators connect to their power core through these channels. Eric smiled grimly. Perfect targeting points. Weapons locked. Fire, Alex ordered. The Transcendence's advanced particle beams lanced out, still partially existing in the seventh dimension. When they struck the Krell dreadnought, the effect was immediate and devastating. The beams bypassed the ship's formidable shields entirely, striking directly at the power distribution network. Direct hit, Eric announced. Their shields are collapsing. On the view screen, sections of the massive alien warship went dark as power failed throughout its systems. The other dreadnoughts are changing formation, Samantha reported. They're moving to protect each other. The Krell commander appeared on the communication screen again, its reptilian features contorted with rage and confusion. What trickery is this? How are you penetrating our shields? Alex kept his expression neutral. No trickery, just science you haven't mastered yet. The Krell hissed in anger. Impossible. The Krell Empire controls technology from 12 subject species. Nothing escapes our understanding. You're attacking from three-dimensional space, Olivia said, stepping into view. We're attacking from the seventh dimension. Your shields exist in the same dimensions as your weapons. They can't stop what they can't touch. Preposterous. The Krell commander slammed a clawed fist down. All vessels, concentrate fire on the human ship. The remaining two dreadnoughts oriented toward the Transcendence, their weapons charging with ominous energy. 15 minutes of phase time remaining, Olivia warned. Alex nodded. Let's make them count. Target the second dreadnought's engines. The Transcendence moved with impossible speed, appearing to exist in multiple locations simultaneously. From the Krell perspective, they seemed to be fighting a vessel that broke all known laws of physics. Their targeting systems can't lock onto us, Eric reported with satisfaction. We're moving through dimensional planes faster than their computers can calculate. The Transcendence fired again, its weapons striking the second dreadnought with surgical precision. The massive vessel's engines exploded in cascading failures, leaving it drifting helplessly. Last dreadnought is attempting to retreat, Samantha reported. Alex shook his head. They came here to destroy a peaceful colony. We can't let them escape to try again elsewhere. The Transcendence phased through several dimensions at once, appearing directly in front of the fleeing dreadnought. From this position, they could see the fear on the faces of the Krell bridge crew through the vessel's viewports. Target their command center, Alex ordered. Disable, don't destroy. Another precisely calculated strike, and the dreadnought's bridge section went dark. All three vessels disabled, Eric confirmed. New Eden is safe. Olivia checked her readings. Dimensional phase stable for 5 more minutes, then we need to return to normal space. Alex nodded, finally allowing himself a small smile. Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them the Transcendence just changed the rules of engagement. The news of what happened at New Eden spread through the galaxy faster than any ship could travel. Within days, every major species had seen the footage captured by the colony's orbital cameras. The images of a single human vessel defeating 3 Krell dreadnoughts sent shockwaves through the established power structures of the galactic community. Commander Alex Daniels stood before the emergency session of the Galactic Council, facing the same diplomats who had laughed at humanity just weeks before. Their expressions now ranged from wary respect to outright fear. The United Terran Alliance did not seek this confrontation. Alex began, his voice calm but firm. The Krell Empire attacked a peaceful colony without provocation. We defended our people using technology developed through our own research. The Zentari representative raised a tentacle. Commander Daniels, your vessel appears to violate several fundamental laws of physics as understood by the most advanced civilizations in our coalition. Not violate, Alex corrected. Transcend. The Veldoran ambassador, who had been so dismissive of the demonstration, leaned forward. Your ship existed in multiple dimensional planes simultaneously. This should be impossible. And yet we did it. Alex replied simply. Dr. Olivia Wright, standing beside him, added, the fundamental mistake in conventional dimensional physics has been the assumption that dimensions must be traversed sequentially. Our research shows that all dimensions exist concurrently, occupying the same space, but vibrating at different frequencies. The council chamber erupted in heated discussions among the various species representatives. Alex noticed how they clustered together, casting nervous glances toward the human delegation. The ancient Zinthar representative, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, floated forward. When it spoke, its voice resonated with the wisdom of a species that had explored the stars for over 1 million years. In all our time studying the cosmos, we never conceived of this approach, it admitted. The implications are disturbing. Only if you make them so, Alex said. Humanity has no desire for conquest. Yet you now possess technology that renders our defensive systems obsolete. The Krell representative hissed. This was a different Krell than the commander they had faced. Younger, but no less aggressive. 3 of our most powerful warships, disabled in minutes by a single vessel. Perhaps that should make you reconsider your policy of expansion through conquest, Alex suggested. The Krell bristled but remained silent. A quieter voice spoke up, the representative of the Halari, a peaceful species whose worlds bordered Krell territory. For decades, we have lived under the shadow of Krell aggression, paying tribute to avoid invasion. Does the United Terran Alliance offer protection to non-human worlds? The question caught Alex by surprise. He glanced at the holographic display, showing Admiral Wilson back on Earth. The Admiral gave a slight nod. The United Terran Alliance is prepared to establish mutual defense agreements with any peaceful species, Alex announced. We believe in cooperation, not domination. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. In a single moment, the power balance of the galaxy had shifted. The Galactic Council President, a wise Tellurian with 4 arms and iridescent skin, finally spoke. It appears humanity has much to teach us, both technologically and philosophically. I propose a formal revision of Earth's status within the coalition. No longer a probationary member, but a full partner with all associated rights and responsibilities. One by one, the representatives signaled their agreement, some enthusiastically, others reluctantly. Only the Krell abstained. As the session ended, Alex found himself surrounded by the same diplomats who had once mocked humanity. Now they offered congratulations, technological exchange proposals, and alliance requests. The Veldoran ambassador approached last. Commander Daniels, I wish to personally apologize for my dismissive attitude. My species prides itself on wisdom, yet we were blind to humanity's potential. Alex nodded in acceptance. A common mistake, Ambassador. Everyone underestimates the newcomer. No longer, the Veldoran said quietly. No one is laughing now. 1 year after the New Eden incident, the observation deck of Earth's orbital headquarters offered a spectacular view. 7 vessels of the new Transcendence-class fleet floated in formation, their sleek hulls gleaming in the sunlight. Each represented months of refinement based on the original prototype's design, now streamlined and enhanced for specific mission parameters. Commander Alex Daniels, now Admiral Daniels, watched with quiet pride as the ships prepared for their maiden voyage as a unified fleet. Quite a sight, isn't it? Dr. Olivia Wright joined him at the viewport. Her research team had grown from a dozen scientists to over 300, with laboratories on 3 planets. "Hard to believe how much has changed in a year," Alex replied. The doors slid open as Captain Eric Summers entered, now commanding the flagship of the new fleet. "Final preparations are complete, Admiral. We're ready to depart for the joint exercises with the Hilary Defense Forces." Alex nodded. The Krell have been suspiciously quiet since their defeat at New Eden. "They're rebuilding," Eric said. "Intelligence suggests they've abandoned attempts to copy our dimensional technology. Instead, they're focusing on defensive systems that might counter it." "Good luck with that." Olivia smiled. "We're already developing Phase 9 technology. By the time they figure out how to stop a 7th-dimensional attack, we'll be operating on entirely different principles." A gentle tone sounded, indicating the arrival of guests. The doors opened to admit a diverse group of alien diplomats, representatives from species that had once dismissed humanity as primitive, but now sought their partnership. The Tellurian Council President stepped forward. "Admiral Daniels, Dr. Wright, on behalf of the Galactic Coalition, I present you with this." She handed over a crystalline cube that shimmered with inner light. "The Galactic Science Award," Olivia breathed, recognizing the prestigious honor. "The highest recognition our combined civilizations can bestow," the President confirmed. "Not merely for your technological breakthrough, but for how you've chosen to use it." Alex gestured toward the fleet visible through the viewport. "Some might see these ships and think we're preparing for war. We see them and know you're ensuring peace," the Tellurian replied. "The Krell Empire has withdrawn from 3 disputed systems since your fleet was announced. 4 smaller species have canceled their tribute agreements, and for the first time in a century, the Zinthar Collective has opened its borders to cultural exchange." The Veldoran ambassador, now a close ally, added, "Your species has accomplished something remarkable. Not just technological advancement, but a philosophical one. You've proven that power need not corrupt." Olivia held up the award. "This belongs to all of humanity. Our breakthrough came because we approached an old problem with fresh eyes." "Imagination," Alex said thoughtfully. "That's our true advantage. Not resources or intelligence, but the ability to imagine solutions that others consider impossible." The gathering moved to the ceremonial hall where representatives from Earth and 24 alien worlds waited. As Olivia accepted the award formally, she kept her speech simple. "Throughout history, humanity has looked up at the stars and dreamed. When we finally reached them, we found ourselves laughed at by older, more advanced civilizations. Today, no one is laughing. Not because we've proven our superiority. We haven't. We've simply demonstrated that different perspectives lead to different solutions." She held the glowing award high. "This honor recognizes not just what we discovered, but what we represent. A reminder that no matter how advanced a civilization becomes, there is always something new to learn, always a different way of seeing the universe." As the ceremony concluded, Alex stood on the podium and gazed out at the assembled representatives of a galaxy transformed. "The United Terran Alliance pledges to use our dimensional technology for exploration, for defense, and for the advancement of all peaceful species." Later, as the new fleet departed Earth orbit on its first official mission, Alex watched from the command center. The ships shifted slightly, parts of them seeming to exist in multiple places at once as they activated their dimensional drives. "Where do we go from here?" asked a young officer beside him. Admiral Daniels smiled. "Wherever we can imagine."